Kiannaa Sage here, coming to you from one of my favorite places in Orange County. This is Crystal Cove, and today I wanted to talk to you about something very important and something that's often overlooked, and I'm going to give you a little story that will help you see how to implement it into your life. So when people talk about the law of attraction and positive thinking and mindset, changing your life, those things are all very important. But nothing is more important than the element of alignment within, because before you manifest anything, you must be in alignment. So if you think about every situation, every conflict, every relationship that you have in your life, it is all something that you've attracted, right? We have multiple harmonics going on in our physical body and our energetic system all the time. So when we are in pure alignment for that thing that we want to manifest, well, it comes very easily. But when we are seeing where we're not in that, like if you create vision boards, which is really popular with those of you who are interested in law of attraction, those are really huge, except for oftentimes when people are creating these vision boards, what they've done is created this huge gap between their current reality and what they want to create. And oftentimes when they look at their vision board, what they're seeing is the lacking, the limitation, that I don't have that and I want that. I have this and that's not that. And so it's hard to get in alignment when you have that way of looking at things. So I want to share with you a personal story, and I've used this throughout my entire life, but I wanted to show you how it works. So when I was in my 20s, I was going through a big breakup and I was needing to move. And I was moving from one area to another area, but I didn't know what area I was going to live in. So I'd go through all these different neighborhoods and I'd look for, well, where do I want to live? And I found the neighborhood, and lo and behold, it was also really close to the office that I was working at, which was in this beautiful part of San Diego, right next to the San Diego Zoo. And you could hear the animals, and they had beautiful walking paths. And the homes were absolutely gorgeous. I mean, these were $1 million mansion homes, very quaint. In fact, Bill Walton, the professional NBA player, had a home in this area. And I used to walk by his house and think, oh my gosh, that is living, right? You got to live in this beautiful neighborhood. That is living. And then what happened was really cool is that the place that I ended up moving to was right in that neighborhood. I literally lived 2 blocks from Bill Walton, and I had $1 million mansion homes all around me, but I had a very quaint little apartment that wasn't able to be seen from the streets. So you would never have known it was there. It was like a back house, if you will. And so when you're going through these neighborhoods, you often think, well, I can't live there because these are all mansions. But here, this first story is where you couldn't even see where I was living. And yet here I was living in this multi-million-dollar neighborhood, in my dream neighborhood. It was a perfect spot to go and to heal after a breakup. And I loved it. And then what happened was my landlord ended up getting divorced. So he wanted to move into my place. Which was great for him, but I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to leave this amazing neighborhood that I love, so close to work, I could walk to work. And I was like, oh man, this really sucks. But then I just went and I looked up the neighborhood, and I was like, no, I still really want to live in this neighborhood. And lo and behold, right behind this Victorian home, I found another house. This was an apartment that was its own little standing house, almost like a back house to a mansion, if you will. And it was not able to be seen from the streets, but I got this place. It had a great backyard for me and my dog, and I lived there for 9 years. And again, I was provided for based on loving the area, embracing the environment, like looking at the details of the environments, the hills, the plants, the nature aspects of what I loved about this neighborhood. And so from there, I stayed there for many years until I found another spot that I really liked, and it was in a different part of San Diego. And I used to ride my bike on this trail, and I used to appreciate, oh, this is such a beautiful bike trail, and look at all these amazing homes. They were even better newer than the homes that I had been living by, and they were so amazing. And what I loved about this, there was this one little bike part of the path where it was like trees went over it, and it was shaded, and it was quiet and quaint, and then it had a walking path next to it, and I was like, wow, I really love this area. And it's really close to my other favorite beach, which is Torrey Pines, and there's hiking. It's very similar to this environment because I love cliffs, I love the ocean, I love the beach, I love the feeling of peace and embodiment. And lo and behold, I went looking through the neighborhood like I always did, and I found a house that had not even been put on for rent yet, and I ended up getting a condo before it went listed, and that was the place I called home for 9 years. So my point in this whole video is about alignment, and alignment is critical to manifestation, and you cannot manifest through thinking alone. It has to be a physical embodiment of the essence of what it is that you're wanting to manifest. So when you think about the essence, you definitely want to think about the feeling, and you want to feel like what are the components of it that you enjoy and that you like. So for example, for the living, I was really important for me to live next to nature, that it wasn't all cement, that it had good walking paths for me and my dog, that it maybe had parks that I could go to and sit and enjoy. Those are things that were really important to me. And those are the things that I focused on. I didn't focus on that it wasn't possible. I didn't focus on that I didn't have enough money. I didn't focus on what I couldn't see. And this is the biggest thing that I want you to understand, is that you cannot manifest based on your physical eyes on it. All manifestation occurs in the non-physical. All manifestation occurs within your energy systems before it becomes into the physical. So don't get so stuck on what you are seeing physically. And this is really important during this time in our evolution and humanity as well, because we are seeing a lot of things on the media, in our own environments, that have us focused on the physical and keep us going into a tailspin of what and how horrible things are. Do not get stuck on what it is that you are witnessing or observing, because there's so much going on hidden and the unseen and the unknown that are working on our behalf. And I just really want to echo that for you, because in all of the places that I lived, they were not what you could see in the physical. They weren't listed, if you will, for rent. They were all happening through other forms. And I think that's really important that you realize that when you're going into alignment, that don't get stuck in what you are seeing. Know that everything is happening in the unseen, in the unknown, in the non-physical before it can manifest. So cheers to being in sync and really vibing with those essence of those things that you want to create, and trusting in the unknown.